What's up, guys? Benny. Tucker Carlson is on the record saying he's not going to speculate about Charlie Kirk's murder and the events surrounding it, yet leave it to Theo Von to elicit out of somebody their darkest and deepest secrets. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Tucker Carlson talking about Charlie Kirk's murder and the curious events surrounding it. As we have stated on this program time and time again, we want maximal transparency, maximal investigative force, and maximal confessions and evidence brought to light. In the absence of that, you are going to have people that spiral, and that's what you're seeing right now. Who's in charge of the damn investigation? Well, it's not Erica Kirk, and it's not Candace Owens, and it sure as hell ain't me. And the way that you actually get people to go freaking crazy on stuff like this is to hold things back from them, to lie to them, or to deceive them. And what I mean by that is the judge is right now in this case planning on, it seems like, banning all cameras and all media from the courthouse. So we won't be able to watch the trial. We'll just be able to see these little sketches and hear little blurbs about it later. But that's totally and wholly inadequate. People are going to lose their minds if that's the case. And Tucker Carlson's saying as much, and he's right about it. So here we go. Let's start with Tucker Carlson describing the real problems with this investigation, saying that there has to be more.
But so I would say of the assassination, first of all, I knew him well. He was right at my house right before he was killed, so I feel emotional about it still.
Who was Charlie Kirk?
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I love his wife and know his wife well, and so I feel emotional about it. So I just haven't wanted everything to do with it. But I will say a couple of things. I don't understand the official story at all.
Of his assassination?
I don't understand it, and I want to make sure that there is a truly rigorous and honest federal investigation of it, and I'm definitely concerned about that. A. B. I think that I don't know many of the details, but I know that recently Candace said that Egyptian registered aircraft were following Erica Kirk, Charlie's widow, around for a number of years in different places in the world. That's one of the weirdest things I've ever heard, and I just want to say that is factually true. That's true. So that's like the one data point that I happen to know is true. What does that mean? I have literally no idea. I can't even guess, but that's very, very strange.
And what is Egyptian? It could mean aircraft from Egypt. Who knows?
I think that they were registered in Egypt.
Got it.
And but that fact is true. So that enough, and it also her claim that there were kind of a disproportionately large number of foreign registered cell phones at the event. That's also true. So what does that add up to? I don't know, but it means that the FBI has a moral and legal obligation to look in every direction and to be open-minded as you would in any investigation, in journalism, in science. It's all the same process. I don't know the answer, and I'm going to sift through everything as open-mindedly as I can, as honestly as I can, to get to what the truth is. That's science, that's law enforcement, that's journalism. It's all the same. That's justice. And I just want to make sure that is happening, and I just don't have a ton of confidence in the FBI or the men who run it. And I'm not saying that out of ignorance at all.
That's a scary part too.
I'm not alleging anything. I'm just saying I think it's really important that we have that.
Yeah, and also
and I never wanted to think
Twitter
any of
this.
Shit. Like leaders of the FBI are on Twitter. Like what?
Oh, do you see the video that Tim Dillon did about the
No, because it makes me too mad.
But no, I agree. It's like, and also here's the weird thing. I never wanted to think about any of this shit.
No,
I never
agree.
wanted to think that our FBI didn't care about us, or that our CIA was compromised, or that we couldn't you can't even call the police department without thinking that it goes directly to some other foreign lobby, right? Like,
Theo Von is so earnest in these conversations. Tucker Carlson, clearly they're going directly after Dan Bongino and Kash Patel for being on Twitter, saying that he doesn't have any confidence in them and their ability to investigate here or run the FBI. I have a feeling this is going to elicit a reaction out of Kash and Dan, and more importantly, going to sort of cast a pall on the investigation of Charlie Kirk's murder, which, again, every single independent voice can tell you it would be great to have more clarity. It would be great to have more clarity on President Trump's assassination attempt. I mean, really, you're talking about events that changed the country forever and would be good to have a step-by-step breakdown of what's going on. It's perfectly fine to ask questions about these things. It's perfectly natural and healthy, actually, to do that. And more importantly, we've learned that the CIA was lying to us for 70 years about the JFK assassination. So, I mean, you're the people who lied, right? The CIA did bump Lee Harvey Oswald in Mexico. They've now finally admitted that. They had to get that admission clawed out of their cold, dead hands. And so, again, you're the ones who broke it. Like, it is incumbent upon the current leadership of the CIA, FBI, and so on in order to try and fix it. And the way that you do that is maximal transparency and investigative efforts. Here's Tucker Carlson calling for that, saying that you have got to be more transparent and forceful in your investigation here.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not like a weirdo just because your brain is trying to figure things out. That's a brain's job, is to try to figure things out, is to try to make organization of things, right? So it's just so crazy that people who are trying to figure things out are getting ostracized, you know, whether they're right or wrong or something. At least they're trying to have some semblance of like curiosity, which is really just kind of
if the official story describing the murder of your friend doesn't make sense, and you find yourself yelling at a podcaster for coming up with other theories, you're barking in the wrong direction. Your anger should be focused on the people whose job it is legally, constitutionally, to get to the answer. And there's very little pressure on them, I notice.
Yeah.
And a great deal of pressure on Candace Owens. And by the way, I've said this to a bunch of people, you know, off the record, you know, people I'm just talking to. It's like, what Candace is saying is clearly causing a lot of turmoil. Is it true or not? I can't assess it. I'm not the FBI. I'm a freaking podcaster, but I do know how the system works, and it's really simple. The FBI has this case, and of course the state of Utah. It's their job to not only find out what happened, present it to the public in a way that restores some confidence that you can like have justice in this country, that we have functioning law enforcement. I don't have confidence in that because there's a lot of evidence that we don't have that. So restore confidence by being honest and telling a story that makes sense. So why, and if they don't do that, and they haven't done that, they have not done that, how can you be mad at Candace Owens or anyone else for filling a vacuum that they left?
Yeah.
Well, Candace is okay, no. The people with the authority are the ones responsible, and they're the ones who should be held responsible when there's a failure. Not some podcaster, not me, not you, not Candace, the people whose job it is. Talk about, and it's always that. It's always like, you say, well, I don't know why Israel's committing genocide, and Gaza, shut up, Theo Von. It's like, shouldn't you be mad at Israel for committing the genocide? No.
Yeah, or why am I the one even asking about it?
Exactly.
Dude? I'm just a curious tard, dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying my best, but dude.
I couldn't agree more.
You know?
Again, I love Theo Von. He's just such an earnest individual. Makes him great at this kind of stuff. It's, like a Labrador. You don't want to disappoint. Anyway, Tucker Carlson addressed the Charlie Kirk murder one final time in this podcast, and the leadership around it and the conversation. I thought this was good.
But anyway, here's what I am concerned about. A lot of things. One, he acted alone. Tell me how that worked. I don't, none of us really act alone.
It's hard to go anywhere by yourself, too.
Well, thank you. Exactly. You acted totally alone. Okay. You're going to have to prove that to me. It's totally possible. Anything is possible. Weird things have happened. We'll continue to. But that's not my default assumption, and it shouldn't be yours. And their default assumption was we acted alone. Really? Why do you think that? What about life suggests that people typically act alone? When was the last time you acted alone in anything? I don't go, right? So A. B, we know that people had foreknowledge of this because they posted about it on X and said Charlie Kirk is going to be killed on this date, and he was.
Is that true?
Yes, it's true.
Were they just guessing? Was it a guessing thing where every day they posted that?
Maybe. Have those people been interviewed? Have they been hauled into FBI HQ and had a long conversation with how they knew that? Like, let's get really specific. Why did you post that? Who have you talked to? Like, if I were doing this investigation, because I spent my whole life doing non-criminal investigations called journalism, like what do we know is true? How do we find out? Call everybody, be open-minded. It's like it's the same process. If I was doing this investigation, they would be at the very top of the list. We know because we've got public postings on Twitter that people know, just like on 9/11. We know people bet against American Airlines and the banks that were in the World Trade Centers. They shorted those stocks. Those people clearly had foreknowledge of 9/11. Who were those people? We still don't know. So I would start there.
But so you're saying that just the fact that there could possibly be some foreknowledge should be investigated.
Well, there was foreknowledge because I saw the tweets. And so I saw at least two that said, everything's going to change when Charlie Kirk gets to the college in Utah.
Okay.
So those people, I'm not saying they're a part of a conspiracy, but there's evidence that they had foreknowledge. Okay. So that's where you begin. And then I could go on. Like, tell me how this guy who seemed normal became a radical trans furry murderer. It's not enough to tell me, oh, trans. I'm not pro-trans, by the way.
But was that the guy or his boyfriend?
Well, exactly right. Tell me how this guy became so radicalized that he murdered a stranger. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm saying I want an explanation for how it happened. Why wouldn't I?
I agree.
Oh, we can't talk about that because it'll prejudice the jury pool. Really, you've told the world that you have both a confession from him in his text to his boyfriend and the murder weapon with his fingerprints on it. I think you got a pretty solid case. So why is it so difficult to just explain, dude, 9/11, the rubble was still smoldering whenever I was on television on 9/11. So I remember this very well. People are instantly appeared. Oh, this is Islamic radicalism. Here's where it comes from. We're going to invite this guy in from Columbia who's just written a book about it. And like the whole explanation was ready to go.
Yeah.
There's no even attempt, which is both good and bad, but there's no attempt to explain how this happened. Like that's the key question we all want to know. Yes, I know Charlie Kirk was murdered by gunshot. Got it. Saw it. Why? And they never want to tell you.
Yeah.
Was the kid on SSRI? Shut up. Are you a Scientologist? And they immediately start name calling you. Oh, you're Candace Owens now? No.
Yeah, but if you're just a curious person who wants to know why your friend got killed.
Well, that's kind of what I am. That's what I am.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's a human person.
Well, that's what Candace is. So I have said from the beginning, if you don't like what Candace Owens is saying, why don't you call her and offer a more plausible explanation for what happened? Oh, she's bad. She's bad. Okay. I mean, I like her a lot. I don't think she's bad, but I love her actually. But let's just stipulate she's bad. But why wouldn't you do that? Because
I don't agree with some of the stuff that the rabbit hole she goes down, but I don't
even know.
But I like the fact that she likes to dig in the garden, So it's like, I like the fact that she's curious and that obviously if people weren't resonating with what she's doing, then nobody would be paying attention. But you know how many places I go, people will come up to me and be like, and I don't think they want to say something to me. They'll be like, I love Candace Owens.
Dude, did I say what happened to me in Oslo this summer?
Mm-mm.
I was with my family, salmon fishing.
White Oslo. Some people call it White Oslo as well.
It's not very white anymore.
It isn't?
Nope.
Ah.
I'm glad they put up the tweets in that section because, as a matter of fact, there were a bunch of mutant freaks that were celebrating Charlie Kirk's imminent death online. They posted about it, and a lot of them had connections to transgender and Antifa and furry communities in Utah. I would like to know if those people have been interviewed. I think that's a fair line of questioning. Matt Walsh here just seconds ago posting. An obvious hole in the Charlie Kirk assassination story is that leftist trans freaks were posting about the killing before it happened. Seemed to indicate that there was potentially even more leftists involved in the plot. If that's a conspiracy theory, it's among leftist radical militants either way. The evidence points to this being the work of one, at least possibly more than one, radical leftist scumbags. They want all of us dead, and they had every reason and motivation to kill Charlie, and they didn't. Tucker saying as much, Matt saying as much. A lot of people sounding off on this. I think it's perfectly acceptable to ask for maximal transparency and investigative force, and then for updates. It is the clearest, most damaging and effective political assassination that has split the country into, in my lifetime or yours, since JFK. Frankly, you'd have to go back to find political assassination of more weight. So treat it like that. Treat it with the kind of investigative rigor that is required. And if you don't do that, then people spiral, and that's why people go crazy. Anyway, I tend to agree with this take. Let me know what you think in the comment section. It's your boy Benny. See ya.